Hi everyone, I'm at Lochte at my workshop and I've got a weekend of dragonfly making ahead of me. On Saturday I'm at Salsgirth Market, and I'm showing people how to do dragonflies, and hopefully some of them will have a go. And on Sunday I'm at the RSPB Vane Reserve here in Perth Ross, just up the road. This, excuse me, is a dragonfly. Don't know how well you can see him from there. I'm going to make one right now so that you can follow me and see how it's done. First of all, you have to have some willow. You can see behind me I have a water tank, and that's where I soak my willow. I don't have land or anything, so I'm here in an industrial estate surrounded by mechanics. Now, I'm going to start my dragonfly with its nose. And how you do its nose is you crack the willow until it's pointy. Can you see that? Now you've got a short end. Hopefully that will end up as a tail and body. Now you wrap the long piece around and up towards the nose. Once it's pointing towards the nose, sorry, I should maybe show you wrap around it, just to keep those two bits together. That's all that's about, and just poke through the skinny end. Sometimes it's easily broken, but often you can use that skinny end for a feeler. So we have quite a skimpy body just now. Next stick. I'm working with willow. This willow is called Flanders Red, I think. It's a little bit longer and thicker. Now, lay it along the body with the tail ends together. Can you see that if I put them against there? Now you have your long stick, which we're going to do the same thing with. Wrap around and down to get the two tail ends together, and up towards the top again, wrapping it around as tight as you can, but it's going to have a lot more work done. And then poke the skinny end through, and you should have two feelers and a body. Can you see that? Little body. Now all he needs are wings. So we need to make 4 wings for a dragonfly. We have another stick. Put the thin end through a space, if you can see a space, near the head. The head is where the nose is, the feelers, and dragonflies have quite a thick head. So poke as close as you can, put the first thin end into the willow and lay the thick end across. Now I'm going to twist the thin end around and over. And I think I might just do an into the middle, round about, just so that it's staying in place. The secret of willow is you always have to hold on to it because it boings. So try and secure it as good as you can, but keep a good hold on it at the same time. Just got to put that through, and we'll get on to the next wing. So just now we've got 1 wing out of 4. The next wing on the same side does the same thing. Poke the skimpy end through and give yourself a decent amount of willow, thin willow, to be able to wrap and weave it in. We want a shorter wing. Pull the thick end over and lay it across. So that it's in place, but it should be a little bit shorter than the first wing. Can you see that? And take the thin end that you poked through and wrap around while holding on to everything. All of those first 2 wings. Now, they can go into different angles and things, but that just suggests flight. So worry not about that kind of thing. When you get to an end, on the shortest bit of your skimpiness, just poke it through and it should stay together. You can make your wings look more like dragonflies by just cracking them, just like you did the nose, but not so much. Can you see that? So instead of being ovoid, you've got this dragonfly shape. Now, all you've got left to do is your other 2 wings. So you do exactly the same, but the other way around. Poke the thin end somewhere close to the nose so that it's up near the head. Bend your willow rod over, hold on to it, and make it roughly the same size as the first one. So it's another front wing, and then wrap around. I'll just show you that if I can manage to let go of it a little bit. Can you see? I'm just wrapping around anywhere that works. And I'll just poke that thin end through somewhere and go on to the next one. So now I've got 3, and here we go with the 4th. This is a nice thinner piece of willow. So just push these down, find a space, poke the thick end in somewhere or another. There's always a space. I find it's very annoying actually, because you think you've got everything really nice and tight, and the next thing you see, another wee hole. Pull the thin end right in. Should be shorter than the first one, and then wrap around and secure the whole lot if you can, just by going around and around, in and out wherever possible. Oh, he's lovely. Different lengths of willow make different lengths of dragonflies. They look beautiful in the garden. They're sort of just right if you're a gardeny person. I don't think I don't think anybody makes these for indoors. I suppose if you had a conservatory, they could look quite nice in a conservatory. I think this one looks a bit bigger than the first one. So I'm just going to pull the end through until it's the size I want it to be. Squish it in, and you've got a lovely shape of a dragonfly's wing. Don't know if you can see him. All you have to do now is snip off any bits that are annoying you. So as close to the head as possible. Just to create that blob of a head. I think that's all the endy bits. I usually just finish off the tail by cutting them so they're sort of pointing outwards from each other, you know, like a ribbon. And there we have them. At this point, you can either hang them on a wall with wire or put them on a stick, which is what I do. I think I showed you that one. Where is he? So remember, if you're coming to one of my workshops at the weekend, you'll need enough space in your car to put a stick. Speak to you soon. Chin.